Roscoe, the Giant Steamer by Clark Dyer. Illustrations by Eric Davis. Once upon a time, an old man went to the beach at low tide, and he saw a hole in the sand. "Maybe there's a clam down there," he said to himself, because he had heard that if there's a hole in the sand, there could be a clam down there. So he started to dig. At first the sand was easy to move, but then there was a layer of clay, and it was more difficult to dig. Clawing away at the sand hurt the old man's arms and hands, and just as he was ready to give up, he saw the silver-white shell of a soft-shelled clam. "Aha!" he exclaimed, and kept on digging. It was a big one. Once the old man could see half of the clam, he grabbed it with his fingers and tried to pull it out of the sand, but it wouldn't budge. So he dug some more and tried again. Still it would not budge. So he gathered up enough energy in his old bones to dig a little more, and he tried one last time to pull the clam out. After jiggling and pulling, the clam finally came free. "Holy mackerel," said the man out loud, for the clam must have weighed a pound. "I shall call you Roscoe. You are going to be delicious in some chowder tonight, Roscoe, my boy." So the old man took the clam home and began preparations for his famous clam chowder recipe. First he diced up some carrots, onions, and celery and sweated that mirepoix in some olive oil. Then he added white wine and brought it to a boil. Then it was time to add the giant clam so he could use the meat for his chowder. The old man held the clam in the palm of his hand and looked at it. At first he thought of how delicious it would be. But then he thought of how that clam had survived such a long time to grow so big, and how he had pulled it from its home on the seashore. The old man sighed and realized that he could not cook this clam that was larger than any clam he had ever seen. So before the sun went down, the old man got back in his Dodge 1500 Super Cab with hip-hop on the XM radio that he rented from Enterprise for $9.99 a day, and brought the clam back to the beach. He looked at it one last time and said, "Good luck to you, Roscoe," and he threw the clam into the ocean. The old man smiled, and he went home and added some chicken thighs to that mirepoix. He ate some delicious dinner that night and lived happily ever after, for a few more months. The end.